Hello guys, and welcome back to Strategic Command World War II World at War with our Axis playthrough. In the last episode, we went through the European portion of our turn here. In July 3rd, we took motherfucking Moscow and Alexandria and also Sevastopol. We've surrounded Stalingrad, we have the Italians getting ready to push on Jerusalem, you name it, and we're probably doing it. However, most of our turn with Japan remains undone, only doing a couple things such as capturing half of Wake Island. This is Wake, right? Now Midway, I keep messing that up, and I don't know why. But most of it has yet to come, and then maybe we might spend a little bit more of Italian MPPs, we'll see. The Chinese are very much on the run to Lanchao, pulling out of several sectors because, well, we're gaining on them. Even though there's so much room to do things like elite reinforcements, I think we'll just continue on the offensive for right now. Let's take this corps and attack, this army and attack this corps. 6 damage dealt, none taken, and now the enemy is retreated. We'll take the 3rd army, which is also injured. It'll have enough supply to like reinforce next turn and run up. And now we have some choices on how we push this, because I don't know if we're gonna get to attack more things. Every movement along even a road, it's only costing 1. So theoretically, if we wipe out the garrison, there you go, shattered, we should be able to, yes, take the 2nd Kwantung Army and even the 11th Regional Army and move forward into those spots. But as you see, we're very, very limited onto this road. I'd love to get some upgrades on some of these, but we'll keep the momentum going. And this puts us right next to the Zoo HQ, probably the only HQ up here. Lanchao is protected by a fucking core. And this is their reforming. Uramuchi's probably hardly defended at all if this is what they have defending Lanchao. Let's take our tactical bombers down south and go ahead and bombard the Zoo HQ. Dealing 2 damage, taking none. I was hoping to deal 7, but the odds are more in our favor. Now let's attack with the 11th Regional Army using a blitz attack. 7 damage dealt. Unfortunately, not quite getting the kill I was hoping for. Any other pushes forward are going to find themselves limited, meanwhile, by any traversable way. So while we're dealing big damage, we're not dealing maybe enough damage. These 2 units can probably just be finished off from the air. Let's try the tactical bombers on the enemy core. Yep, and we've shattered it. It's dead. Enemy core dead. Let's try the medium bombers on the Zoo HQ. Shattered, and there goes their really only HQ for this region. This one might try to pick up the slack, but not quite sure what kind of success that will meet. So right now, our limitation is a bit of a logistic one. Let's take, because we have so many armies here already, let's take this one, just move it up here, take a peek. Okay, they do have a core over at Ningzech. Oh god, what are these names? Let's move the 34th Army up, because I believe we're moving that one up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, that is what I had allocated for over here. This one has no point to move up. It can't move up at all. It's just, we're clogged. We're clogged on a road in a mountain. I'm gonna move the 37th Army off of this spot here. I'm gonna move the Suzuki HQ forward and move the Yamashita HQ forward to spread supply and bonuses around this region a little bit better here. So we have more serviceable supply. Certainly, someone could move up to here and just start trying to besiege this place as well. Not that that would do anything really amazing, but it could open up another spot. However, there are also other things to do, such as upgrade, especially now that we have utilized our air. And again, this is really kind of a side front for me in this playthrough. So, cool. Okay, we may also end up wanting to look at some other things here, such as moving our air. The further we push, and we are pushing, we'll set the paratroopers here to prepare to jump, because, well, they're probably going to jump at some point. We'll take the Korean army here, and we will attack Kunming, dealing 4 damage. And rather than swap in and attack again, because that's not really my goal right now, we're just going to give elite reinforcements over to the North Chinese Front Army. Get it stronger and ready to push. Everything else is kind of in the same situation where it can get some upgrades if it would like to. We have, I still kind of want to fill in this stuff over here that we're claiming. And there's still places that we need to move, garrisons, such as right around here. So let's see, let's move this one, because I know, I forget how I was going to actually take care of that. I think it was from right there. Yeah. So we'll move this one up here. This garrison's taking care of those 2 points now. We have this garrison taking care of these two. So let's move this one as a force march to get right there. There you go. Now those two are taken care of. It's like a fucking game of Minesweeper almost, with very tedious memorization demands. We will get elite reinforcements for the 13th Army, taking this time that we can, now that our enemy is so weak, to strengthen our own units to make them kind of even more unstoppable in combat. This one cannot really move very far at the moment, so it's just going to move right here, where it should be able to get some reinforcements next turn and get properly back up to strength. I can't believe we still don't own these 2 spots. This is ridiculous. This army and this army are just kind of stuck right now in the back, waiting for a chance to move forward, so let's give them elite reinforcements. You really, once you break the Chinese lines, you don't need that many armies or troops to really deal with them. You mainly need numbers in the beginning when the Chinese have numbers, but if you take away their number advantage, your quality advantage becomes apparent. I've gotten pretty much every corps except this one and this one out of here onto islands and things in the Pacific, and I am having the opposite of a manpower shortage at this point. I felt a little short probably for a short period of time there, but really not that bad. We should move these forward a touch. Let's say move this tactical bomber right over here, get a little bit better range. And then what about this tactical bomber? Oh, that's right, I kept this here so that it could also support against Kunming if needed, once we're kind of ready to make that push through. I don't know if it can actually reach up here anymore. I think that is probably beyond it at this point. So yeah, now it kind of has to make a choice. I'll move these fighters forward a bit. Tackle bomber here will probably stay here to help them get through Kunming for right now, and these other 2 will, tack and medium will go this way to help in the main push towards Lanchao and Uramuchi, which we'll probably never get to. Our Zuio escort carrier here is ready to move. Okay, let's set it to bombers, and let's move it to Hiroshima and use it to bomb this sub, because it already has kind of like a base bonus against subs anyway. It's dived, it took some damage from the dive. I learned that by reading chat. One of you told me that apparently when they take damage like that, they're not actually taking damage from you. The dive is how they escape your damage, but they have a chance of taking damage from the dive. It's very logical. It makes a lot of sense. I understand this. Yes. Okay. Cool. That knowledge is in my hands. What shall we do now? All these carriers need to get back to some port, somewhere, somehow, to do something. We might need to clear some ports out, actually. We'll take the Hiryu and send it over to Nagasaki. Dangerously close to that sub, but it's not really a problem. There aren't going to be any American subs sneaking into Japanese ports and sinking important ships like there were in World War II, because the mechanics of this game make that generally impossible. However, the carrier is going to move forward into the ports so that they can fix themselves up. The Akagi probably, oh no, it can reach one. Okay, let's send it all the way up there, the Akagi. Now, the only one that's not there is the Kaga, because it helped with taking Midway. Oh, and I just noticed the Australia to UK line is officially completely turned off. We got that turned off. And in fact, we could, if we wanted to, with like just a normal attack, hurt the enemy heavy cruiser that's here. Of course, we're probably risking stuff by doing that. Don't think I actually want to try to sneak into a port with a level 1 sub, upgrade level 1, to pull that off, so I won't. Well, I don't know, actually. It's tempting. Might be a good way to get some XP. Let's try it. We dealt no damage. We took no damage, but damn, that was a lot of XP we just got. Holy crap. And they got none. Huh. We just went into the next experience point. Like, we just got our first experience point from that. Okay, cool. They had ASW upgrades too, and they still just kind of couldn't do anything, even while in a port, which is kind of funny. Got a zone of control to worry about here, but if I remember correctly, these special forces, I was intending them to head down here and fight over New Zealand for us. Because I feel like that's the next proper step. It's either islands out here, like the Fiji Islands, Pago Pago, where they're already kind of reinforcing, or I think New Zealand's probably a pretty good one. Probably difficult to maintain, theoretically, but I think it will be worth it. To free up some ports, let's go ahead and take the 5th Corps here of ours and get it sent over. Oh my god, it can almost, but not quite reach its destination. What about at normal speed? We'd be able to just go plop ourselves over here at Nauru, into the port there, as we prepare to get it sent over to Hilo. It's gonna be pretty important for it. So then we can take the Curry Special Forces and we'll send them, let's say, all the way down here, sneaking around all of our islands. Seems a pretty safe bet. Using the ports we captured in the Bismarck Archipelago to protect our special forces from any enemy naval forces. Next, we have all these battleships ready to move up, so I'm gonna just move them up to places they can reach a little more easily. Because we don't have that many ports in Japan. Thankfully, in Korea and Manchuria, the ports are pretty usable. But for now, we'll just take some baby steps forward, moving the battleships up to places they can reach that lead up to those spots, because we know there's still a submarine around here we're gonna have to deal with. So let's go sail our destroyers generally in that direction. The destroyers will help us deal with that submarine. We're in no rush to really get the fleet into any fighting shape. I'm not too afraid of the American fleet in the AI's hands, and realistically, I've pushed so far forward over here, like with Hawaii and just over here as well, but I'm not too scared of them. They have to push through a lot of stuff to get anywhere near me. Not to mention, I know I read a comment from you guys saying that you have experienced that the Allies will go ahead and do an Operation Torch. So if they're getting ready to invade some technically neutral countries, potentially, then I don't really mind. We do still have 72 MPPs remaining as Italy. I think I will spend them. We'll go put some infantry weapons on some of these corps that are defending kind of the front here. I think that could be worthwhile. I know we still have tons of corps and stuff down here that really don't necessarily need to be here, but we're down to 12 MPPs. That's pretty much it, just getting these two boosted up to level 2. But Sicily, historically, would be the front after an Operation Torch. Might as well have Sicily at utmost readiness, right? We have plenty of available research we can do as Japan. I think researching some more amphibious warfare is a pretty fair thing to do. We also have new units to deploy as Japan, including a special forces, which can deploy, let's put it by, well, Nagasaki, I guess. We won't be able to really use that port. It can plop out next to it, but it can't use it. The ports are all kind of taken up. Well, I'll put it at one of these northern ports, Kashiro, and we'll take the Iwani, I don't know. It's an HQ, and we're gonna take it. We're gonna plop it down, maybe right just next to Tokyo. Damn, Japan gets a lot of HQs for free. It's really crazy. At least I don't think I paid for that one. You know, this is probably pretty important. Let me go ahead and move the Congo up here for now. We're gonna get this guy, there you go, deployed in a port long-range amphibious transport, which only leaves how many available? Like, oh, actually 5. That number's gone way up. Because it's another injured one that could go do stuff and then eventually find an excuse to reinforce. And it's a good backup in case these two are not enough for New Zealand. If we need another, we can just go ahead and land it. And if we don't, well, it could just be in the correct area for hopping onto some of these other islands, and maybe even Australia if we get that far. We'll also go ahead and we're just going to push ahead our spying and intelligence research, because knowing where the enemy is incredibly helpful. We'll spend some MPPs upgrading this special forces with some anti-air, just so it has it, because it's going to be leaving that location. It's not going to be staying there, that's for certain. Looking over by Thailand area, we have the Hanoi Corps. We're going to move forward. We're going to stick this HQ on... Oh man, this is terrible. If we could get it on Rangoon, that would really be the best possible thing with our current plan. So let's just keep moving it forward up behind the troops. And that will make supply here pretty good all by itself. Maybe even enough to consider pushing forward. Oh yeah, look at the supply right here. Let's move forward to perform some recon. We can see the enemies are on Mandalay, an enemy Indian army that I don't believe has any HQ support. The Mutagushi HQ will eventually move on to Rangoon to provide some better supply to the area around. And then I guess the 14th Army can operate forward with the Thai units supporting it. Whereas the Terauchi HQ accompanies these guys down here. They have their own personal HQ. God, we get so many of them. I have more than I know what to do with. If I was fighting a player, I think I'd know what to do with them, but I'm not fighting a player, so I don't know what to do with them. And with that, I believe we've completed our entire turn. So let's go ahead and proceed to the next one. UK morale suffers from the loss of Alexandria. Damn right it does. Soviet morale suffers from the loss of Moscow. Hell fucking yeah it does. And with the loss of Sevastopol. Germany celebrates the capture of Moscow. Yep. USSR moves government to Kubyshev. Axis plunder only 25 MPPs from Moscow. Maybe that has something to do with the event where you like move the industry. No, that's from Ukraine to the Urals. That's not quite the same. But they've moved their capital, as I kind of expected. British commandos raid St. Malo. Ah! Stop it. Raiders disrupt shipping. Yeah, you're not getting these convoys, motherfucker. The Japs are here to take it away. And we're just hurting their supply over here. Hit by rough seas, that's not good. Ground attack weapons level 2. Ooh. Really? That took forever, didn't it? Damn. This is some great MPPs that we're getting now. Oh man, I love seeing a strong Japan in this game. Strong, right? Germany's still like way the fuck stronger, but I love seeing Japan have capability to do things compared to how they've been for everything before now. Yeah, they're gonna dogpile on this sub. I pretty much had that figured out. 1-to-1 damage. Die from attack. No damage taken. Okay, enemy contact, American destroyer moving around here. No ASW on that. Chose not to attack. Holy mother. Whoa. You showed up to the wrong neighborhood, motherfucker, is what they just said to me. Oh, this sub's trying to escape. I think it got away, maybe, but it just took like 4 or 5 damage in the process. I don't know if that sub even exists anymore. As you see, the Soviets are running for the fucking hills now. Operating probably where they can, otherwise just running around, completely abandoning their fortifications, because now they know they have to go defend this other capital. This one doesn't matter anymore. Why do you still have tanks here? I'm not going to attack you. The fact that you're still here is why I'm not going to attack you. What are you going to do? Attack me? If I don't start the war, it's not my fault. I won't suffer any negative effects. It'd be funny to see an allied player use the USSR to try to like invade Manchuria early. That'd probably be really dumb though, because the USSR just cannot handle Germany by themselves. Why would you do that? Why would you hurt yourself? Oh! Oh god, we just took 3 damage, they took 1. They just ran right up on us. Wow, okay. And there they attacked us, we took 1 damage, dealt 2. That worked out better. Indians attacking us in Africa, doing nothing. A garrison attacking my recon at Moscow. What? Is that Artie? Was that anti-tank or Artie? I don't know. Holy shit, speaking of anti-tank, here comes the Soviet anti-tank galore. Wow. Okay. That tank's moving over. Retaking a town that I was not defending. Those planes are in danger now, but I have anti-tank. I just got like 3 anti-tank ready to go, so that's probably as perfect timing as perfect can get. Brazil has joined the Allies, yeah. Nothing I can do about nothing I'm gonna do about that. Nothing I care to do about that with this playthrough, but I probably could have done something about that. But we're not thinking that far ahead. They raid Calais. Would you stop it? Stop raiding. Stop. Bad. So annoying, British. Disrupted Canada, UK, USA, UK. Ugh, we're not doing enough raiding, but at least we've shut off 2 of their lines. It may not count as raiding, but probably just as important. There you go. Oh, long-range amphibious this is why Spies and intelligence is so important. We know there's special forces on Sydney. Okay. A light cruiser there, a British light cruiser. Oh god, okay, intel, finally. If they have a long-range amphibious transport, that can only mean one thing. If the AI was just going to try to reach a front, they just try to reach a front. The AI, I think, only really uses transports like this when they have a script kind of getting them prepared for something. And so, this is probably troops getting ready to come on over here and do Operation Torch. I mean, they're over here, right? They're not over on the other side. So this is probably Operation Torch troops ready to go. God, spies and intelligence, that is so useful. USSR's morale absolutely just plummeted by nearly 10%, roughly 7% from losing Moscow, or 8% actually. Just from pretty much losing Moscow and I guess Sevastopol as well. Not as much as I would have expected, but it still did plummet. And they've sent so many more troops up here for me to deal with. But Kubyshev is still the main goal. Looking over to Japan, I might try to get an easy 1-to-1 trade against an enemy army here. Yeah, 1 dealt, 1 taken. I approve that trade. Let's move that back now. Move the army up towards the enemy army. Let's get the Mutagushi HQ onto Rangoon. Supply is doing great over here now. Oh, yes, it is. Because the supply from Bangkok is already a maxed value no matter what. It's just always at 10. Holy wow. You don't even need to have an HQ on Bangkok. You just need to have HQs around it to boost the supply already coming from Bangkok. And what's our supply up here? Not too great, but we go step on this town, and then supply here will be drastically improved. Let's just move forward for right now. There's not much else to do. And we can already really hurt this Malayan Corps, which is called the Indian Corps, which is weird. But let's go ahead and attack that. Let's attack it. 2 damage dealt, none taken. It's good enough. We'll move the Hanoi Corps up into this mountain, where our supply will still be really good. You know what's so funny? We had more supply when I wasn't on Rangoon. When I was instead over here just boosting supply we were receiving. Boosting it from down here is actually less efficient. But we'll go ahead and try a blitz attack, dealing 3 damage to the enemy, taking none, so that worked out as well as it ever could have, which is lucky. Let's look at the land front up here. So the only one of these armies that can actually get far enough is this one. So we've moved him up. He's got his blitz attack. We do have the ability to bomb with 2 of our bombers this spot. And oh, look, there is another HQ. Isn't that curious? I didn't realize that was there already. It doesn't feel like we'll be able to do enough damage. Why when I hover over this, does a floating green hex appear? Okay, there we go. I was like, why does it appear over my UI? It's the escort. We'll move the 34th Army up. They'll have the best chance of really doing anything big up here. While supply from Tianshui is still kind of recovering. Supply on the front doesn't look very good for us at all. So we either go on the offensive right now, or maybe we build up a little bit. Either way, Landshaw's not going anywhere. The entrenchment might go somewhere. Definitely I'll take this flotilla bomber here, which can only attack this, and go ahead and attack the enemy corps there. No damage dealt on either side, but readiness and morale of the enemy is absolutely destroyed. Let's go ahead and attack that with the 17th Korean Army, dealing half of the damage that this thing can take. That's pretty incredible. I'm tempted to move forward and try another attack while I have some pretty decent supply. Not the best, but pretty decent. Yeah, let's try it. Let's move forward. Attack. And there you go. The extra aggressiveness pays off. And Kunming is ours, leading up to Wanting. Well, now here's an option where I could move some fighters over here to kind of cover this other front, like a fighter and a bomber. I feel like this is still obviously the most important place to focus my efforts, right? Because this is the capitals of China. When China's done, it frees up so many units. This is just going to lead into another front. So that doesn't really need to move particularly fast. If anything, it just needs to kind of push up to around here and hold, because it's hard enough to get units in here. let alone sustaining them in any meaningful way. We will do our blitz attack, but not in an effort to take the enemy location, just to do some damage. We unfortunately took some damage that I didn't foresee us taking, but it is what it is. Reinforce the units that are in the back here. This one can't get anywhere easily without force marching, and I don't want to lose all of that readiness and morale. But we have our new ground attack weapons, so we can upgrade our... Wow, that just looks like a 0 at this point, doesn't it? That just looks like a 0. I'm sure it's not. I'm sure they just use other... They use that on other things, I'm sure. Let's upgrade these bombers. This one just gets bigger. With some ground attack weapons. The medium bomber, I will grant some naval weaponry as well, because if any of them end up anywhere near anything like that, it's probably gonna be the medium bomber, just like this medium bomber has been doing this whole time. And we still don't know where that submarine is. It might still be around here. It might have run away. Probably ran away somewhere. We can move the 13th Army forward. How's supply gonna be now that we own Kunming? It's gonna be okay. Move 13th Army forward. The Central Expedition Army can just go ahead and reinforce back up to max. Eventually, we're gonna have to come down this road. This is where, at this point, I really wish I had mobility as the Japanese, but I just really never went into it. I never went into it, and I figured I wouldn't really need it while fighting in the mountains. Honestly, I think it would be more useful in the mountains, because it could give you that extra little point you need. But I made my priorities the way I made them, so they are what they are. Either way, with Kunming secured, I think that gets rid of the hump, right? Because Burma Road was this, you know, Hanoi Rail Line was here. And now this is the hump. There's no more hump airdrops. That means America can't put any more points into China, which means China can only use what they produce. And let's see how much more they produce, shall we? Let's look, where are they? What flag is China? Oh God, I'm blind. I am blind. China, oh my God, dude, it's crazy. Crazy seeing this graph. I wish it merged like their turn and my turn into kind of like one turn. I wish there was an option for that, because this up down is a little ridiculous sometimes. But collected income, while it may have started around 200, it's down at like 100 or less collected income, and I think that includes the hump, which is 60 MPPs. So if we just took out the hump, I think we just took out half or more of their remaining income. So that pretty much ends major resistance from China as we push through. We're just gonna kill things and just mow them down. And so isn't that an incredibly joyous note to leave off on this episode with? The hump is gone, and with it, half roughly of the rest of China's income. Moscow has fallen, the new capital is Kubyshev. I can't wait to see where this goes, but we're definitely getting the victory I was hoping for. I don't think anything can stop us now. Epic meme music zooms in on Special Forces from America. For now, though, hope you guys are enjoying. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.